yumyumracing, and today we're at the historic brandshatch. We're racing on the Indy circuit here today for round 7 of Time Attack. Our aim really is to try and get down to about a 50.5 second lap. My best ever here has been a 50.9, so it is a bit of an ask. But because of the changes that we made earlier in the year for Donington, we're really hopeful that we're going to do it. We've got a brilliant team with us today as well. There's 10 of us, and we're all really going to look after the car and hopefully achieve our goal. So, this man here, Nathan, he's our main man. He makes sure that everything on the car, tyres, pressures, and basically the running overall of the car for me when it's on track. Also, if it breaks, he's my go-to guy. We've got Matt over there. So Matt is part of Turbotechnics. He, again, similar to Nathan, makes sure that the car itself is all going really, really well. Again, any issues we have, he helps to fix it. We've got the 2 girls over here. So this is Jess and Jade, both of which main things are like when we come into the pits, because we're checking tyre pressures and temperatures, we need to know what they all are. So the guys will shout them out, Jade will note them all down. Jess comes to me with where I am in the car, so she lets me know what time I'm running at, how I'm doing compared to the competition, where I could be a little bit better as well. Outside, so we've got James, Tom and Roxy all helping us out today as well. James is he's like a whiz kid when it comes to suspension sort of stuff. Roxy's helping out Nathan as well, and Tom's on the pit wall. So obviously as we go around the track, I want to know what I'm doing. So he'll give instructions to Matt so that Matt knows when to put the board out, because in Time Attack it's all about finding the gap, because you want to find a good space on track so that you can set your fastest lap, because if you go out in traffic you've got no chance. You want a clear track ahead. We did have a gentleman coming down later. He's not here yet. His name is Keith. He's been with Turbotechnics for about 35 years or so. Helped to found the company. So he'll be down doing technical stuff with us later on today as well.
Thanks very much.
More than welcome.
Hopefully we can achieve your day.
Absolutely. Hopefully we can achieve what we want to do today.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
So before we get into the 4 days coverage, first things first, and rightly so, Jess is on breakfast duty as the team fill their bellies for a full day of Time Attack racing.
You've done it at the wrong time on track.
So Ben, how are you, dude?
Yeah, good. A little bit tired. I mean, it's a long way for us to come from Scotland to get down here to Brands Hatch.
Right, I didn't know you're from Scotland.
Yeah, it took about 13 hours.
And I was complaining about coming from Nottingham. Yeah, so how's the car today then compared to Donington when we last saw you?
So the car itself's basically the same as what it was last time. We haven't made any adjustments to it yet.
Yes.
I've got a suspension setup specialist with us today as well, though. So he's gonna basically ask me a few questions about how the car feels, and then we'll possibly make a couple of adjustments after that.
What suspension are you running on that?
So we've got Bilsteins on this, which they were actually specifically developed for this car by a company called Jetstream, who deal with Nobles, but also a lot of other high-end sort of cars. So it took about a year or so to get them developed for the car. It's set so that it could still be used on the road. It's got little helper springs on it as well, just for like the small little bumps and stuff. And then the springs themselves, I think off the top of my head, are rated to about 550 pounds. So it is quite stiff, but it's still quite compliant as well.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. So are you running coilovers or is it struts and...
No, so it is a coilover setup on it.
Okay, coilover setup on it. Cool. Have you always run them, or compared to what suspension you were running, or? So
I started using these in 2019.
Yes.
Before that, it was just standard suspension setup on it.
Yeah.
There's no adjustment on anything.
Yeah.
Now there are only 2 ways as well. We've got bump and rebound on it.
Yeah.
It's only 10 points of adjustment as well. Yeah. I've always found that like some suspension setups you'll have maybe 30 different points that you can go up and down on.
Right. Yeah.
But I wanted to keep it simplified if I could.
Yes.
So it's easier to go back to a setup if we need to.
So I've heard at brandshatch, like it's less of a power circuit than say Donington. How do you think the Noble's going to hold out?
This has always been a track for me that it is kind of like my bogey track.
Yeah.
It's not one where I've always performed very well.
Yeah.
I've always felt like it's not a track that suits the car.
Yeah.
The car really suits long sweeping bends.
Yeah.
Here we've got, well, tight hairpin, 90-degree corners, paddock hill, which is just not very good for it, and then coming out of clear ways I can never really get the power down.
Right.
So we were here earlier in the year. We did I think it was a 50.9.
Yeah.
So if we can get down to the low 50s, I'll be absolutely over the moon.
Cool.
The track record for my class, the Club Pro 2-wheel drive class, is 50.7.
Okay.
And the track record for Club Pro, which includes the 4-wheel drive, is a 49.9, I think, which I think is going to be a little bit out of our ability. But if we can get, as I say, down into the low 50s, we'll be really happy with that.
Do you know what car those were in?
So the 2-wheel drive one is done by Spooks in the blue 205,
right,
number 13.
Spoke to those last time,
And the 49 was set by a brilliant driver called Mark Kemp, who's essentially like a professional racing driver that's had a very high powered and well set up Evo.
Okay, fair enough.
So that's why I don't think we're quite going to get to that level, but the closer we can get, the better.
Yeah. Well, the Noble looks better. It's always it looks better than any of the other cars. So yeah, this is awesome. Right. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure you'll perform very well. Right, let's go.
So at first glance, it looked as if the Noble had broken down. So I rushed over to see what was the matter.
Before every race, we have to be scrutineered. And so basically they're going to check over all the safety kit on the car, make sure everything's as it should be. Unfortunately, there's always a big queue.
Okay.
It takes a little while for us to get there.
Yeah, cool.
So whilst we were waiting in line for scrutineering, I thought it would be best if we catch up with some of the team members and ask them what their role is today.
Right, so with Keith, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Right, okay, so I've seen you around with yumyumracing.
Yeah.
Just tell me a little bit about what you contribute to the team and what you work on.
Mine's the really difficult job this weekend, tyres.
Right.
Pressures.
Yes.
There's enough of us to be able to have little jobs for everybody.
Okay.
Where a car missing, because there'd normally be Jeff in the Focus as part of the Turbo Technics team.
Right, yes, I saw that last time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's waiting for a new gearbox. So.
Okay.
So we've got team members that are, and we support Ben anyway.
Yes.
But we're giving Ben more support because Jeff's not here to require our services.
In my Subaru, I put in 33, 34. What kind of tyre pressure can we expect in the Noble?
Well, around about the same sort of figure.
Okay.
But we won't decide until we're almost ready to go out. We can check the temperature and then decide on it, because there's a range of temperatures where the tyre works.
Yes.
So we have to decide at the ambient and then decide the difference in the ambient and when he's got everything warmed up, what it's going to be.
So just for novices, people that don't know too much about time attack, do the tyre pressure dependent on the type of tyre that you're running on the car?
Well, we only run this one type of tyre.
Yeah.
Well, this one or a wet.
Yeah. Semi-slicks, are they?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Any make in particular that you prefer? Or?
Yeah, we can only use these.
Okay.
And they have to have the time attack
logo
on them.
Okay, right, I see what you mean. Right, yeah.
So it's all very tightly controlled.
Yeah.
And it just makes it fairer for everybody.
Okay, yeah. So I guess last time we saw this car was in Donington. How many tyre changes do you have to make per kind of series or per race?
Well, no, we won't change tyres during the meeting.
Yes.
Unless there's a problem with one.
Yes.
They won't wear out that quickly because we do a relatively short amount of track work, and it's not all at, because some of them are warm-up laps, some of them are cool-down laps.
Yeah.
So they're not all hot laps.
Yes.
And they only really get any tyre degradation, if you like, when it's on a hot lap.
Right. Okay.
So they will last quite well.
Right. Okay. That's awesome.
It is a big tyre.
Yes. What size and offset is it? So I guess, I mean, you've got bigger J wheels on the back than on the front. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, mainly because it's rear engine, rear wheel drive.
Yes.
So the weight's all at the back.
Yes.
So you can support a bigger tyre.
Yes. That makes sense, right? Thank you very much.
You're welcome,
really
Chris.
appreciate that.
Yeah, no, you're welcome.
Yeah, right. I'm looking forward to seeing it perform.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go.
Wow, there's already so much to consider when preparing the Noble for Time Attack, so I wanted to speak to some other members of the team to find out what they do.
Right, so I'm with Tom. How you doing, dude?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, cool. So how long have you been a part of yumyumracing for?
We met Ben and Jess at the first round this year because this is my first year in Time Attack.
Yeah.
I would usually be driving, but we are crewing for them this weekend.
Yeah.
Thought we'd come and help out.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome. So what do you like the best about this Noble then?
Oh, I think overall I like the fact that it's entirely different to the rest of the grid. It's something different. The whole drivetrain, everything's just not the norm, which I think is really refreshing overall. Yeah, really good car.
So have you done any work on this car then, or just
Not me
drive?
personally, no. We're more on the strategy side, timing side, but so no, not me personally.
So seeing as though this video will be coming out after you've raced, what's the strategy for today, or is that is that a secret?
It's no huge secret. We're just my main job as being on timing is to find Ben's space to race. So I'll be keeping an eye on where everyone else is on track, and then when he's got space, he'll go. So
Okay, that's awesome. That is fantastic.
that's the basis of it.
Yeah. So what do you like the best about Time Attack then? What's the best?
What do I like best about the Time Attack? I think it's the community. Everyone in the pits is just so nice and so welcoming. It's really, really cool to see.
Cool, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. You seem very passionate about it.
Oh yeah,
Can't wait for the racing to start.
Yeah, man.
Cool, awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So after all that talking and pushing the Noble halfway around Brands Hatch, it's finally Ben's turn to be assessed by the scrutineer. Will it pass? Let's find out.
It does work. It does work. We've been on fire twice.
I know you used that camera. Does it actually come past the body?
Yeah.
Just. Yeah. Right, okay.
We found out the hard way.
Yep.
Just make sure they have actually put the lights back on.
So what we're doing now, we're just making sure the lights are actually working correctly, everything's all put back in correctly. As you can see, the lighting unit.
Turbo Tennis. Skinny looking guy, looks like he's 50 but he's actually 30.
Hard paper round. Okay, so we're just making sure everything's all...
Gander while we're wrestling this.
Scrutineer looks over the car to make sure everything's to regulation. There isn't anything that's going to cause a hazard to either Ben or the rest of the drivers on the road.
Hey? So have you got permission to be videoing the Scrutineer? The Scrutineer doesn't mind.
Thank you, Sujo. I have £10 in my pocket. I don't know whether that might. Thank you, Mr. Scrutineer. I really, really appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So as you can see, they're just checking over the racing gear. Everything has to be checked. The boots, the helmet, neck rest.
I'm only playing with you, honestly.
Put it on the floor first. Okay.
Don't get dropped.
Have we got any gloves or?
Yeah, they're on the.
Should we try these instead?
Yeah. Try them until we find the other
Yeah. Yeah, do you want to pop the front off, please?
one. Squeeze out. Just remember it comes.
The Scrutineer is so detailed in his assessment. He even checks the gloves, racing boots, fire extinguisher deployment, and most importantly, the helmet.
Yeah, do you want to pop the front off, please?
Squeeze out. Just remember it comes.
Now scrutineering's over and we passed with flying colours, I wanted to catch up with Ben to see how he's feeling about the up and coming warm up and practice races.
Right. So, from the scrutineering, was there anything that you need to consider or amend or?
Yeah, so we had a faulty wire on the brake lights.
Yes.
Which, I mean, it might sound like a very small thing, but
Yeah.
it could, again, put an end to the day before it even starts, because if we don't have working brake lights, we're not allowed on track.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it was literally just a very loose connection.
Yeah.
Matt came running up from the pit garage,
Yeah.
sorted it out instantly, passed scrutineering, and away we go.
That's amazing. So we're all passed, we're all ready to go.
Yeah.
What's the first agenda of the day then? What's going to be?
So first session that we go out in is our warm-up.
Yeah.
So really, I want to make sure that the car's all running right.
Yeah.
And that everything is doing as it should do.
Yeah.
I also want to get a feel for the suspension on it, because it's the first time I've been to Brands Hatch with this new setup on it.
Right.
And then I can liaise with James, who's going to be our suspension specialist for the day.
Okay. Yeah.
He will basically, I'll tell him how the car feels.
Yeah.
He'll tell me what we're going to change.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Right. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Yeah. Let's go. So, how are you feeling at the moment?
All right.
Yeah.
It's
Ready?
past scrutineering, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's something.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Should be all good from now.
All
Breakfast all in us. Feel free to go grab
Oh
some.
yeah, I'm sure I'll get a sausage in a second.
It's a little bit on the chilly side now, but it's still there.
That's all right. I really, really appreciate it. So, what times do you think the Noble will run today?
It depends.
Yeah.
It very much depends.
Yeah.
It's the car doesn't like hot weather, so we should be all right today.
Yeah. I don't think any car likes hot weather. My GC8 definitely doesn't like hot weather.
Yeah, it doesn't like it at all.
Yeah.
So hopefully we should be. What did we do last time? I think it was a 52. So
Okay.
I think he's aiming for about 51, 50. So
Okay.
hopefully.
yeah. We're not going for track record, because I think Mark Kemp pretty much has got that one in the bag. So it'd be a bit of a challenge, but Ben will always go as fast as he can go.
Oh yeah,
Yes, he
definitely.
will.
The saying is, you can dart flat out, isn't
Yeah,
it?
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever driven this?
No,
He has.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a difficult one to get in and out of. The best way out is to roll backwards out of it.
I've got no hope. Got no hope. Wow, thanks very much. Can't wait to get on the track. The anticipation is really good, isn't it? It's really high before race day. So yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, no worries.
See you later.
So as a team, handle all the prerequisites and make the final amendments ready for the warm-up session, I thought I'll catch up with Ben for a couple of final thoughts before we head out to the pit lane.
How you feeling, Ben?
Nervous. I always get nervous before it. Always get nervous before it. But yeah, I still look forward to it.
Okay.
We've done all the checks on the car. Should be good to go out, get a feel for it, to see how the track is, how the car is. We'll come into the pits about halfway through. Just again do some checks, and then be good to go.
Wow, we're starting. Can you quickly run us through what pre-checks you do?
So basically, fluid checks. I want to make sure all the fuel, the power steering levels, the coolant is all where it needs to be. Tyre pressures, track temperature, because that affects the tyre pressures. All the lights, make sure the cut-off switch works. Kind of like what we do at Scrutineering, but we want to do it for ourselves as well.
Okay, good. How's things running, dude?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're getting there. We'll find out in the next 5 minutes when he gets on track.
Okay, let's go.
I'm taking data for the chassis, so settings on the dampers and all the wheel geometry, so we've got a record of it as well as the paper copy.
Right,
so then we know where we're at before we do any changes.
Okay, so when you run on this track again, you know what you ran, what setup you had last time.
So I've been updated with what it has now for today. So this is my first time working on the car, so I spent a load of time last night and this morning getting everything sorted, so I know what all of it is.
Okay, good stuff.
Thank you.
Right, let's go. It's all very nerve-wracking, isn't it?
Always.
Yeah, a lot of preparation.
Always get nervous when it goes out. But it's alright.
Yeah.
It's alright. It's always fine.
Cool.
So now the team have completed all the prerequisites and preparations for the warm-up session. Ben is now suited and ready as he climbs into the driver's seat, ready for the session ahead. What's amazing to see is how attentive his team are towards him. They don't just make sure the car's ready, they also make sure Ben's comfortable, he has everything he needs as he takes to the track for the first time today at Brandshatch. As Ben pulls in for a mid-race check, timing is everything. Every member of the team has their individual task to fulfill, with the objective of getting Ben back out on the track as fast as possible. Warm-up session over, Ben pulls back into the paddock as the team assess any iniquities that Ben might have and discuss how they can improve the car further for the practice lap.
That was fast, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. We're 4/10 off, so he's done a 50.9. Fastest that we did earlier in the season was 50.2.
Wow.
51.2. So
Right.
he's looking as fastest in the earlier part of the season.
Wow. Gosh. Yeah.
Always a bit smoky on the first round with him.
Yeah, always. How was that, Ben?
Felt good. It took me a little while to get used to the track again.
Yeah.
The upgrades on the suspension definitely seem to have made a difference.
Yeah.
The initial turn-in
Yeah.
is much better.
Yeah.
I had a little issue with the brake pedal went long towards the end of the session. So we want to have a look at that. We've also got a dead point in the steering. So I just want to check that over as well.
Okay.
We've got a very minor oil, not leak, but seep.
Okay.
that we normally have to keep on top of, so that's what the guys are doing now. But yeah, overall it felt good.
But all those things, you know, can be changed. That can be like
all things that
redress, so to speak.
Yeah, just part and parcel of a 25-year-old race car.
Yeah, that's
green's good. That's fine.
Like, in all intents and purposes, that looked rapid. Yeah. Absolutely rapid.
Well, we were in the lowest power setting as well there. We did a 50.9.
Yeah.
As I said before, the aim today is to try and get to a 50.5. So I definitely think that's on the cards. I really do. Yeah.
Well, I think you can achieve that today, Ben. Definitely achieve that. Definitely. Right. Thanks very much.
See what I mean about the? It's in the column. I've just been on using it. I just don't remember it being as bad as that at Donington, that's all.
So Ben, what would the resolution be for the dead spot in the steering?
We don't know, so at the moment we think it's actually in the column.
Okay.
It's not in any of the front suspension itself.
Yeah.
So it might just be something we need to live with today and try and replace the column for the next race or something.
Okay.
But they're hard to come by. They're hard to come by.
It's not something you can manufacture, is it? It's just something that you have to buy.
Well, yes. So we need to find out. It would probably be a used unit, you know, nobody can make them anymore.
Yeah, of course.
Unless we can find a patented part through Ford or something.
Yeah.
Me too.
Or end up, as you say, get one made for it.
Yeah. Cool.
It's okay, I can live with it.
Yeah.
I can live with it. Ben fixed it. Oh, okay. Or it's now fixed.
Yes. There we go.
There's a little plastic sleeve that sits in that sleeve before it goes to the U guard. It slid down, so it's pushed it back up. It's gone up now.
Yeah, much better.
What I might do is move around there to stop it sliding
up.
down again, maybe.
Okay, yeah, good idea. Okay. Okay. Yeah, turns out it's a plastic sleeve has moved on the column, which is allowing that movement in it. Yeah. So they put the sleeve back into place. Now we're going to see if we can secure it so it doesn't move again. And then hopefully we'll be all sorted.
Awesome.
As I said, 25-year-old race car. It's going to throw a wobbly every now and then.
Yeah, of course. But we've got good hopes today. We've got good hopes. We've got good hopes.
Oh yeah, that's the.
No, it doesn't count though. That's the only thing. But that's what I want to be.
Yeah, I wanted to go to a 49 because there's a few bits on it. There's a few bits on it that are a bit off. So, like the fronts are way too cold. So
I did find that actually.
Can say 71 to 104. It's 50 odd on the front, lower actually. So
because we normally run it around the 65 mark. I feel it feels good.
That's on the just off the bottom end of where they turn.
The temps are a little bit messy, I do apologise.
Temps are the ones on the right?
So they're the temp, the bottom ones are the pressures.
Okay, cool.
So you're pretty much 30 other than the left rear.
I'm not too far away.
Temperatures and pressures on the front and the rear.
The tyre temperatures and pressures are they?
Yeah, so we know roughly what window we'd want them to be in because I've had a chat with Nankang for these tyres as to what they like.
Yeah.
So then we see what it does and then we adjust them around. So for example, that is higher than we want it to be ideally because we tend to go for this car tends to like around 30, so we'll drop pressure on that corner. And the fronts are a little bit colder than I probably like them to be. Front right mainly, but
okay,
we'll have a fiddle.
Cool. How's it all going?
Well, we're all ready to rock and roll. We're just
you did a bit of diagnostic before you go, or?
No, we're just trying to get other technology to work.
Okay. Go out
the car's fine.
Yeah, go analog, it'll be better.
So before we know it, we're ready for the practice session. Ben gives the last few instructions to the team before he climbs into the driver's seat once again, ready for the practice session ahead.
That was close.
It's always a concern when Ben pulls into the pits mid-race unexpectedly. So once again, it's a team's job to communicate with Ben and triage the issue as fast as possible.
What happened there?
Camera fell off.
Okay, camera fell off. That's all right then. Here we go, it's Ben.
Once again, Ben pulls into the pit lane for a mid-race check. This time, the team focus on tyre pressure and tyre temperature, which are all essential metrics in helping Ben achieve the goal.
When we check tyre temps to see how it's sitting, if they need a
The team complete the necessary checks and document the metrics required to make any necessary amendments for the qualifying race.
Seems very organised when it comes into a pit stop. Is there a time limit, or is there a time that you actually stick to or adhere to, so to speak?
So it's not a time we stick to. We all have dedicated jobs which we all know we need to get done as soon as possible so we can get Ben back out on the track.
Right, okay.
So like we have 2 doing tyre pressures each side, we have 1 guy doing the temperatures, and I jot everything down for when they come in so we can re-evaluate what we need to do next.
Right, okay, that's awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So basically just holds the numbers up just to let Ben know how much.
Yeah. Let's know his time.
Lets you know his time, yeah?
Yeah, obviously finds it out at the end of the lap he just did.
Okay.
So that's practice over. The team make final checks to see how the metrics gathered mid-session correlate with the metrics gathered at the end of the session.
I lost a bit of here.
Okay.
Just before I came in, I pushed it a little bit. And I got a lot of sliding, and I locked up on the front. But that's because I was pushing harder.
Okay.
Yeah. The front end felt great. Thank you. Sorry,
that's all right.
Yum, you know, you got to have
yum.
yeah, it felt good.
Yeah.
It felt good. We made some very, very minor adjustments to tyre pressure setups.
Yeah.
That's because I'm going bold.
It's all right, yeah.
So yeah, made some very, very minor adjustments. When we came into the pits as well, we dropped all the pressures down because obviously when we're on track, as the tyres get hotter, the pressures come up and then I start to lose grip again.
Right.
So we dropped them all down to 29 PSI all round, and I found more time. We're down to 50.46, I think.
Oh, that's good.
So we're already reached our target for the day.
Yeah.
Whether there's another half a second in it or not to break the whole class record, I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be a big ask, I think.
Okay.
Because we turned the power up 1 notch, so I got about an extra 40 horsepower out of it.
Right.
We could probably give it another 100 or so, but I don't think 100 horsepower is going to find half a second. But we'll try.
Yeah.
You know, we'll try.
I guess, like, how does that work? Because obviously you have to think about breaking into the corners, right?
Exactly. So not only does it mean that you need to be a bit more careful on corner exit, because I'm already starting to spin the rear tyres up.
Right.
But also when it comes to corner entry, your braking point has also moved, because we'd maybe be another 5 or 8 mile an hour quicker when we reach that point. So again, it's, even though we know where we are and we want to improve, and you say, right, throw more power at it, but it's not always the answer, because you lose a bit of the drivability. And that, with a car like this, which is a bit of a handful, getting that drivability really is key.
Yes. Right, no, thank you very much. Well explained. Right. So next is the actual qualifying then.
Yeah, so next up is qualifying. We do play for points now. And also, if I do that same lap time, it will be in fact, it won't count as a class record, because they put 2 classes together this year.
Yeah.
So even though it would technically be a Club Pro 2-wheel drive record, because it's just 1 class and it's Club Pro, even though all the cars in it are 2-wheel drive today, it wouldn't count. But it does for us.
Yes.
It does for us.
Yeah, it does for you. Yeah, self-progression, etc.
Exactly. Exactly that.
So who are your competitors today?
So competitor today is Ilya, who runs a very, very high-powered, massively developed Renault Clio. By all means, go and have a look at it.
I think it's the green one up there, isn't it?
That's
with the K20 in it.
Well, I already know that down the straight here, in that last session, he was quicker than I am. Because, I mean, the car, even though it's fiberglass bodywork, it's still got steel chassis, whereas Ilya has got a lot of carbon fibre on his car. He's saved a whole load of weight. His car's probably between 200 to 300 kilos lighter than this is, and I don't know exactly what sort of power figure he's running, but I would guess anywhere between 450 to 600 horsepower.
Power to weight ratio.
It's a very, very quick car. I can't catch him down the straight at the moment.
That is so quick. Go on, Mabel.
But then that's also why we've been very close time-wise.
Yes.
Like in the previous session, there were only 0.2 of a second between us.
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be good to, if we can be nip and tuck all day today, that'd be great for the competition.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, Ben.
All right.
Cheers.
So as a team, fuel the Noble, ready for the practice session, I want to catch up with Ben to hear his thoughts prior to the race ahead.
You going for gold then, Ben?
Going for gold. I mean, we need to get through qualifying first.
Yeah.
We're going to give it an extra 40 horsepower.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll maybe buy us another 10th or so. Yeah. And then I'm going to try a bit harder as well, so that we can maybe get another 10th out of me. And if we can do that and then do it again in the final, we'll be good.
Right, visualise your win, visualise the win.
This is one of the most important sessions of the day. Ben must qualify in order to proceed to the next session. Decision making is a fundamental factor, not just from Ben, but from his team around him, if they want to achieve success today at brandshatch. Ben takes the track and, as expected, leaves no tarmac unturned as he goes full throttle around brandshatch.
Oh, very fast.
As expected, Ben pulls into the pit lane for a mid-session pre-check. However, the team identifies something's wrong as Ben doesn't stop outside but pulls straight into the garage. Ben swiftly relays the symptoms to the mechanics as they try to investigate what might be the cause of the issue. At this time it's all hands on deck, with no time to spare, with the aim to get Ben back out on the track to complete qualifying so the team can proceed to the next round. At this moment, Ben fears the worst and takes some time just to gather his thoughts. Emotions are running high amongst the team. Expressions of concern, disappointment, sadness. So I tried to catch up with one of the technicians to see exactly what happened.
So what we have discovered now is the manifold has cracked at the flange of the engine. So
Right.
I don't think we'll be able to come back from this, but we'll have to see.
So I guess that would mean a new manifold, or can you weld the old one
But
back on?
The problem is, yes, theoretically we could, but it's getting it off. Because there's a lot of stuff that's built over the top of the manifold on this car.
Right.
So it seems the manifold which connects to the turbo is cracked. Not only cracked, but broken off.
Thank you.
You're right. I thought I'd just give you a minute just to walk it off. How? Do you want to explain?
Can he, Matt, can he see it with the camera? Will he be able to see it? So you can just about sight it.
You can, you might be able to get it through there. I don't know how well the light's going to affect it. Be careful, it's going to be hot. Don't melt your camera. You can see that crack, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You can literally only just sight it, but
It's only right we hear from Ben to hear his thoughts on the situation.
It's not really what you hope for, is it?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, we were running really well.
Yes.
We were running really well. Didn't turn the power up there either. I just felt it start to have a little bit of a loss of power as I went down Paddock Hill.
Yeah.
Then by the time I got to the hairpin, it was just blowing like mad, so I knew there was something broken. I was hoping it was just an exhaust clamp or something like that.
Or a gasket or something.
Yeah, but I mean, it's cracked the housing for the turbo, which is a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
Especially considering, because I don't think that, I mean, the two turbos, one of them was brand new, one of them's maybe 3 years old at the most.
So that's not.
And it's not the sort of thing that would normally break either, you know?
No. No, it's not.
So, I mean, I don't know if we're second or third there in the class. Possibly we got second, because it was still a 50.9 is still a decent lap time.
You go very fast. You were going extremely
Yeah, it was going
quick.
well. We were just starting to build the pace in it.
Yeah.
But I think that'll be us done for the day. We're going to see if we can patch it, just so that I can run in the final, because as long as I can do a lap, doesn't need to be fast. As long as I can do a lap, then I can get something points-wise for the final.
Which is what we want.
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a championship. It's not a standalone round. So it is about collecting as many points as we can. Obviously, it's not the result we were hoping for.
No, it's not.
But
especially with the really good qualifying and practice runs.
Exactly. The car was going so well.
Very good.
It was going so well. Looks like Ilya has got very close to the lap record. I think he got a 50.2.
Wow.
So it was going to be really close between us, I think. So it is a bit of a shame. But as I said at the start, Brands Hatch is my bogey track. We always seem to have something go wrong. It just so happens that today it's pretty terminal.
So to mitigate the issue, then, to I guess the exhaust, how so the manifold itself, can that be re-welded?
We don't know until we get a look at it. Try and do now. Yeah.
Okay.
So there we go. That's the team actually saying that's what we're going to try now. So the guys will get it apart and see what we can do.
Cool. Thank you very much for coming back and explaining that.
It's all right.
Right. Let's hope for the best.
Of course I can. It's Ben's first autograph. It's not mine. It's your birthday. What's your name?
So the team have stripped some of the engine down, removing the intercooler to get a better assessment of the damage that's been caused.
One of them things called racing.
But I hear what you're saying. If you try to bodge it, it's just going to cause more. You know.
Well, you could weld it. You could try and temporarily do it just so it can get some points, but then you could potentially overspin a turbo, which means a new turbo later down the line. Not worth it. Yeah. Not worth it. You can potentially cause more damage trying to.
In the interest of good sportsmanship, even neighbouring teams come to give an assessment to see if they can lend a hand to help Ben get back on the track.
So Ben, it's a verdict.
Terminal, unfortunately.
Okay.
As you'll see, the manifold has cracked right at the flange point. So we had thought about possibly welding it, but there's bits of the manifold that are also missing. So we need to create that. If we don't get it right and we get an air leak, we could overspeed the turbo and then cause further damage from there, which we don't want to do. I've actually worked it out. We have already won the championship.
Oh, wow.
So I don't need the points. It's it's a sour way to have won it, but it is what it is, you know. I mean, it's motor racing. Things break. We were having a great day. It's not the way we wanted to end it, but the car's still in one piece-ish. The engine's still good. The turbos are still good. It's all fixable. It's just not fixable now. If we had maybe 3 hours, we could spend a bit more time at it. But we've only got about 45 minutes until the next session, which just isn't enough.
It's just better to be wise, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I've done it before where I've gone out, we've done a rush job, we've caused more damage. I don't want to do that again. So we'll take it as it is. We've had a good day, and we'll be back bigger and better next time.
Thank you so much for letting BiggieJDM feature your whole day, your whole race day. It's been an amazing experience. I just want to say thank you. It's an unfortunate way to end it, but there's learning, and I think you're going to come back even bigger and better.
Absolutely. I mean, the next track that we go to at Snetterton, which is in about 5 weeks' time, really suits the car. Really suits the car well. So we'll hopefully go a bit better when we get there, and bring home some trophies.
That'd be amazing. Hopefully we can be there to see it as well. We'll see how it goes.
Excellent.
Thank you very much, Ben.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, it's not the happy ending we all had hoped for. Nevertheless, we've had a fantastic day racing, and remember, L doesn't mean lose, L means learn.